Do you know the moment you realize you're standing in the middle of a battlefield, and no one is coming, not your friends, not your parents, not your partner, not even the people you thought would walk through fire for you? That moment, when you look around and it's just you, no applause, no encouragement, no rescue, just silence. It hits you like a punch to the gut, like cold air filling your lungs when you expected warmth. And it's in that silence, in that raw realization, that you either crumble or you rise. Let me be straight with you, no one is coming to save you. Nobody owes you anything, not success, not happiness, not peace of mind. No one's coming to fix your life or carry you across the finish line. And that isn't cruel. It's liberating. Because the minute you accept it, everything changes. You know what real power looks like. It's not having a perfect plan or waiting until the timing feels just right. It's standing up, broken, scared, uncertain, and saying, "I've got this." It's radical self-reliance. The understanding, deep in your bones, that no one is coming to do the hard work for you. And that's not a punishment. It's a gift. Because the moment you stop waiting, you start becoming. You start owning your life, owning your time, owning your growth. You stop pointing fingers. You stop asking for permission. You stop relying on people who've already shown you they're unreliable. When you internalize that it's all on you, that you are responsible for your next move, it rewires everything. It forces you to level up. It makes you sharper, more alert, more intentional. That kind of pressure either crushes you, or it forges something unshakable. Most people waste years in limbo, caught between wanting change and waiting for someone else to initiate it. They want accountability, but not the discomfort that comes with it. They want transformation, but without doing the digging. But you don't have that luxury, because if you want a powerful life, a resilient mind, a sense of freedom no one can touch, then it starts with accepting the raw, uncomfortable truth you are all you've got. And that's enough. You don't need a crowd to clap for you. You don't need a coach screaming in your corner. You need to look in the mirror and know that the person staring back has what it takes. That person has survived things they once thought they couldn't. That person has grit, has fire, and they don't need saving. They need to act. That's the energy that gets things done. That's the energy that builds unstoppable people. Radical self-reliance isn't weakness. It's the purest, most honest form of strength there. Nobody owes you anything. And the sooner you stop expecting the world to hand you fairness, the sooner you get to work building your own. Life doesn't reward you because you're a good person. It doesn't hand out trophies for effort, for pain, or for potential. It pays out to those who do. To those who take the hits, wipe the blood from their face, and keep going without asking for applause. That's the truth. And it's not cold. It's clarity. You can sit around waiting for someone to recognize your worth. You can hope that the world sees your struggle and suddenly decides to ease up on you. But that's not how this works. Life doesn't care about your intentions. It reacts to your output, to your resilience, to how you show up when no one's clapping. People spend years angry at the system, angry at their family, angry at their luck. But anger won't build you. Blame won't move you forward. Expectation won't protect you. Ownership will. There comes a point where you've got to stop asking, "Why isn't someone helping me?" and start demanding more from yourself. That's where your edge lies, not in waiting for justice, but in creating your own opportunities. You didn't get picked. Fine. Build your own table. You weren't supported. Good. Now you know how to support yourself. The most powerful people I've met weren't handed anything. They earned it by refusing to stay small when life tried to shrink them. So drop the mindset that someone's going to come fix what's broken. Drop the idea that you're owed a smooth path. What you're owed, what you deserve, is whatever you are willing to work for. That's how you become dangerous. That's how you build a life no one can take from you. Not because it was given, but because you claimed it. Relentlessly. Pain isn't here to punish you. It's here to prepare you. But most people run from it. They numb it. They hide from it. They treat it like something shameful, something to avoid at all costs. But let me tell you something straight-o. The pain you're running from is the very thing that can sharpen you, mold you, fortify you. Every setback, every loss, every gut-wrenching moment you thought would break you was actually a test. and not to see how much you could take, but to show you what you're made of. Pain doesn't show up randomly. It shows up when you're being forced to grow, when life is dragging you out of who you were and into who you're meant to become. That process, it's not pretty, it's not polished, it's brutal, it's lonely, it strips away all your illusions. But in that stripping down, it reveals something far more powerful. Truth. The truth of what you've been avoiding. The truth of what you need to face. The truth of how far you can really go when there's no other option but forward. People think strength comes from comfort. No. Comfort builds stagnation. Pain builds resilience. It builds grit. You don't find yourself when everything's easy. You find yourself when you're shattered, when the plan falls apart, when you're standing in the wreckage with nothing left but your breath and your will. That's when the real version of you steps forward. Not the version that wants attention, but the one that demands growth. So stop cursing your pain. Stop treating it like an enemy. That heartbreak, that loss, that betrayal. It didn't come to destroy you. It came to develop you. It came to teach you how to rise without the cheering, how to walk without the hand holding, how to lead yourself when no one else will. The most dangerous people in the world are the ones who stopped fearing pain and started using it. Because once you learn how to turn your wounds into wisdom, nothing can stop you. We've created a culture addicted to rescue. Always waiting, always hoping someone else will swoop in and make things better. You feel anxious, take a pill, you feel lost, watch a video, you feel weak, blame your past. But here's the raw truth. Every time you reach outside yourself for strength, you weaken the muscle you were born to develop. The habit of outsourcing your confidence, your decisions, your direction, it's making you mentally fragile and emotionally dependent. You keep handing your power over to people who can't even hold their own, asking for advice from those who haven't lived it, waiting for validation from strangers online who don't even know you. You let likes determine your self-worth. You let someone else's opinion derail your focus. And every time you do that, you're shrinking yourself, piece by piece, day by day, until you've forgotten who you are when it's just you. Confidence doesn't come from being told you're good enough. It comes from proving it to yourself. Through repetition, through doing the uncomfortable thing, through owning your choices and dealing with the consequences like a warrior. But we've been conditioned to believe that if we're not constantly supported, something's wrong. No. That's life. That's reality. The strongest people aren't the ones who were coddled. They're the ones who were challenged. So ask yourself, what happens if no one picks up the phone? What happens if no one encourages you? Will you still move? Will you still fight? Will you still show up when no one's clapping? Because that's the test. And most people fail it. Not because they don't have the ability, but because they never train the muscle of self-leadership. That's your edge. That's what makes you untouchable. You don't need the world to believe in you. You need to stop giving it permission to control you. Most people only know how to perform when they're being watched. When there's an audience. When there's someone to pat them on the back and say, "Good job." But real strength, real discipline, it's built when no one is looking, when the room is quiet, when the lights are off and the only voice left is the one inside your head. That's when character is born, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. It's easy to push yourself when there's pressure, when there's praise, when there's accountability. But who are you when no one's watching? When you don't have to show up? When skipping the gym, skipping the journal, skipping the work won't be noticed by anyone except you. That's the version of you that sets the tone for your entire life. That version tells the truth. Because the private you and the public you should never be strangers. If you can only be disciplined when someone else is pushing you, you're not free. You're controlled. If your drive depends on recognition, then your purpose is shallow. Because purpose isn't about applause. It's about alignment. It's about choosing to do what needs to be done whether it's exciting or not. Whether it feels good or not. Whether anyone else ever sees it or not. The person who builds in silence is dangerous. Because they don't need permission to be great. You want to know how to build unshakable confidence. Keep the promises you make to yourself in private. That's it. You told yourself you'd wake up early, do it. You told yourself you'd stop entertaining toxic people. Cut them off. You said you'd stop settling. Act like it. And don't do it for Instagram. Don't do it for validation. Do it because the life you want requires you to be someone who can trust themselves when no one else is around to hold them accountable. This is the stuff no one claps for. No one celebrates it. But it's the foundation. It's the quiet work that builds loud results. So if you're waiting for motivation to strike or for someone to keep you on track, you're already behind. You want to rise? Start honoring your own word, because when you become the person who shows up in silence, nothing can break you. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build. And no one is going to build it for you. It doesn't matter how much potential you have, how talented you are, or how big your dreams might be. If you don't have discipline, none of it matters. Because potential without discipline is just wasted energy. And here's the truth: most people don't want to hear no one is going to show up every morning to drag you out of bed, hand you a plan, and walk you through it step by step. That's your job. You want to be stronger. No one's coming to force you to train. You want to be respected. No one's coming to make you do the hard thing when it's inconvenient. You want to grow. No one is going to spoon-feed you the consistency it takes to evolve. You've got to choose it, every single day. Discipline is the quiet voice that says, do it anyway. Not once, not when it's easy, but every day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. And that's what separates the ones that rise from the ones who stay stuck. See, most people only act when motivation shows up. But motivation is unreliable. It's a guest, not a roommate. It's fleeting. It disappears the moment things get tough. Discipline, though, that's your foundation. That's the engine. When everything else falls apart, discipline is what carries you through. People like to talk about goals. They write them on whiteboards, post them online, even speak them out loud like mantras. But goals mean nothing without the daily behaviors that support them. Want to write a book? Sit down and write every day, even when it's garbage. Want to change your body? Move it every day, even when you're sore, tired, or bored. Want to build a business? Work on it when it's not profitable, when it's not exciting, when it's not fun. That's discipline. Discipline is showing up for your future self. Not the version of you that's comfortable right now, but the version of you who will thank you 6 months, 1 year, 5 years from now. The version of you who's sharp, focused, respected, grounded. That version doesn't get built by doing what's convenient. It gets built by doing what's required. But discipline isn't sexy. It doesn't come with applause. No one is posting it on social media. It's you getting up when the alarm hits and your bed is warm. It's choosing a workout when your body aches. It's saying no to distractions, temptations, and quick dopamine fixes because your mission means more. It's silence. It's grind. It's repetition. Over and over and over. Without praise, without recognition, without shortcuts. And let me be clear, discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about showing up again and again, even after you mess up, even after you fall. The disciplined person doesn't avoid failure. They outlast it. They've trained themselves to keep going. That's the edge. That's the difference between someone who talks and someone who executes. The talkers need hype. The disciplined ones are fueled by purpose. You want mental toughness? Build discipline. You want emotional resilience? Build discipline. You want a sense of inner peace? Build discipline. Because discipline gives you something most people are desperate for: control. When your emotions scream, when your anxiety spikes, when life gets messy, you've trained yourself not to react impulsively. You act intentionally. That's how you build clarity. That's how you move with power. And don't make the mistake of thinking discipline means sacrifice without reward. No, discipline is the reward, because it gives you the ability to trust yourself, to know that when life hits hard, and it will, you're not going to collapse, you're not going to crumble, you're not going to disappear into self-pity. You've trained for this. You've built your armor. Every early morning, every rep, every choice to stay focused when you could have given in. Those moments stack, and they create a version of you that no one can shake. That's not luck. That's not genetics. That's not privilege. That's discipline. But here's the twist. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care what kind of mood you're in. And that's the power of it, because it frees you from being a slave to your emotions. The undisciplined person rides the emotional roller coaster every day. Happy, sad, angry, motivated, lazy. And they act according to that chaos. The disciplined person doesn't ignore their emotions, but they don't let them run the show either. They stay grounded, locked in, purpose-driven. So ask yourself, what are you training yourself to do every day? Because you are always training something. Every time you hit snooze, you're training yourself to delay life. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you're training yourself to be unreliable. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're telling your mind that short-term ease matters more than long-term greatness. That's the reality. And if you don't like it, good. Now do something about it. Build the habit of doing the hard thing. Not sometimes, every time. Make discipline your identity, not your obligation. It's not something you turn on and off. It's who you are when nobody's looking. It's the standard you set for yourself regardless of how you feel or who's watching. Because the person who's disciplined when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's uncomfortable, that's the person who wins. Quietly. Consistently. Ruthlessly. So no one is coming to build that for you. There's no shortcut, no secret. It's just you and the choice you make every single day. Am I going to move toward the life I want, or away from it? The answer lies in your discipline. Always has, always will. ChatGPT said, stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Just stop. Because the truth is, most people won't. Not at first. They'll doubt you. They'll dismiss you. They'll ignore you. Until you become too undeniable to ignore. And even then, some still won't give you the validation you think you need. But here's the reality: you don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need a cheerleader. You don't need the world to applaud before you take action. You need you. You need to look in the mirror and say, I don't care who doubts me. I will not doubt myself. People want belief to come from outside. They think if someone just gives them that little push, they'll finally start moving. But here's what happens when you build your confidence on other people's approval. When they disappear, so does your belief. That's why most people crumble under pressure. Because their sense of worth was never theirs to begin with. It was borrowed, conditional, fragile, the kind of belief that lasts. That's the kind you build from the inside out, through scars, through sweat, through work. You want real confidence. Do what scares you, and do it alone. Take the first step when no one says, you've got this. Wake up at 5 a.m. when no one is watching. Keep pushing when the voices in your head are louder than any enemy you've ever faced. That's how belief is built, not handed. Built, earned, forged in silence. When you keep showing up for yourself, something powerful happens. You start to trust your own power. You start to move like someone who doesn't beg for belief, because you've already given it to yourself. And belief is not arrogance. It's not about pretending you have all the answers. It's about having your own back. It's about choosing to act in the direction of your potential even when there's zero guarantee of success. Even when you're terrified. Even when no one claps. Because you know that self-doubt is a liar, and action is the truth that silences it. You're not weak because you have fear. You're not broken because you doubt yourself. But you become powerless the moment you let those doubts define you. Belief is a decision, not a feeling, not a vibe. A decision you make to keep going when everything tells you to stop. And the more you honor that decision through action, the louder your confidence becomes. Not in your mouth, but in your presence, in how you carry yourself, in the way you show up when it matters. So no, don't wait for someone else to see something in you. See it in yourself. Build it with discipline. Fuel it with resilience. And watch how the world starts to respond, not because you needed them, but because you never needed them. You led yourself first, you believed first, you moved first, and that's why you win. Every setback you've had, every failure, every betrayal, every time life slapped you in the face and left you gasping for air. It wasn't there to destroy you. It was there to develop you. But only if you stop seeing it as the end and start recognizing it as the beginning of something greater. You weren't meant to be defined by what broke you. You were meant to rise from it with a new level of strength, with a sharper edge, with a deeper sense of who the hell you are. Most people treat setbacks like signs to quit. They say, maybe this isn't for me, the second it gets hard. No, that's the exact moment it is for you. That's the test. That's where growth lives. Setbacks aren't detours. They're checkpoints. You don't get stronger without resistance. You don't get wiser without making mistakes. And you sure as hell don't get resilient by cruising through a comfortable life. You don't level up without loss. You don't build grit in a world that caters to your comfort. The truth is, life will take things from you. Sometimes people, sometimes peace, sometimes your own damn sense of direction. But what it leaves you with is the chance to rebuild. Smarter, tougher, more aware. That's not tragedy. That's transformation. But only if you lean in instead of backing out. Think about the worst thing you've been through, the moment that gutted you. Now ask yourself, did it weaken you? Or did it teach you? Did it destroy your identity? Or did it reveal who you really are underneath all the noise? Every scar you have is proof that you made it, that you didn't quit, that something tried to take you out and failed. You carry your lessons in those scars. They are not ugly. They are evidence. Stop asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what is this building in me? Because the people who win in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who got knocked flat and still decided to stand back up. Again and again, without excuses, without a support system, without applause. They decided their story wasn't going to end in the valley. They made it to the mountain by climbing through hell. So, yeah, you've been hurt. So what? Now what? You get to decide what it means. Will it define you as the one who broke, or the one who rose? Every setback is a setup, a chance to sharpen your mind, harden your will, and silence the voice in your head that says you're not enough. Because you are. And the proof is in every single time you survived what should have taken you out. You didn't just endure it, you evolved through it. And you're still standing. That's not weakness. That's the kind of power no one can teach you. Only pain can. You keep waiting for the green light. For the perfect time. For the right moment when everything aligns and you feel completely ready. Let me save you some time. That moment isn't coming. There is no perfect time. There is no right mood, no magical clarity, no external signal that tells you, go now. You are the green light. Always have been. The problem is, you've been trained to hesitate, to overthink, to doubt yourself into paralysis while life keeps moving with or without you. You want change. You start it. You want momentum. Create it. Stop sitting around thinking you need more certainty before you act. The truth is, certainty comes after movement, not before it. You build it by doing. Not by waiting. Not by watching someone else live your dream while you convince yourself you're not quite ready yet. You are ready the moment you decide to be. You are the trigger. You are the switch. People ask, how do I know if I'm on the right path? You don't. You won't. And that's why most people never move. They're addicted to guarantees. But growth doesn't come with guarantees. It comes with grit. It comes with showing up even when you're scared. Even when you have no clue how it's all going to unfold. The ones who win aren't fearless. They're just tired of waiting. Tired of overanalyzing. Tired of being stuck in the same damn cycle while calling it planning. You want to build something real. Move. Even if it's messy. Even if it's imperfect. Especially if it's uncomfortable. Because discomfort is where all your excuses die. It's where your courage shows up. And that courage, that willingness to step without certainty, that's what separates those who lead from those who wish. You can't keep outsourcing your momentum to the world, waiting for someone to believe in you, to tell you it's your time, to give you a sign. You are the sign. Your goals aren't going to chase you down. You have to pursue them like your life depends on it. Because guess what? It does. The life you want, the person you're trying to become, that version of you is on the other side of action. Not theory. Action. So stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel fearless, confident, or 100% sure. That moment doesn't build you. You build it. Through motion. Through showing up again and again and again. And when people look at you and ask, what changed? You'll tell them, I stopped waiting. I became the damn green light. Be your own hero. Stop looking outside yourself for someone to come fix what's broken, to fight your battles, to walk through your fire. That person you've been waiting for. The one who's supposed to lift you out of your chaos, give you clarity, show you the way. they don't exist. Because that person is you. It always has been. You've just been trained to believe otherwise. You keep waiting for strength to arrive like it's something that gets delivered. But strength is summoned. It's something you tap into, not something you receive. And the truth is, most people never discover what they're capable of because they spend their entire life trying to be saved. By a partner, by a mentor, by a system, by circumstance. They want someone to come rescue them from their own reflection, from their fear, from the consequences of their choices. But no one can save you from a life you're unwilling to take responsibility for. The moment you stop waiting for help is the moment you step into power. That's when everything changes. You stop asking for answers and start creating them. You stop leaning on people who were never built to carry your weight. You stop romanticizing rescue and start respecting responsibility. That's what a real hero does. A real hero doesn't run. They rise. They face their chaos head-on. They fight their own battles, even when the odds are stacked, even when they're exhausted, even when no one claps for them afterward. And don't think being your own hero means being emotionless. It means being accountable. It means showing up for yourself every day. Not just when it's convenient, not just when you feel strong, but especially when you don't. It's the voice that says, "Get up," when your mind says, "Stay down." It's the fire that burns through the fear, through the shame, through the guilt. Because you know deep down no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to save you from yourself. But you can, and when you do, that's not weakness. That's power. That's leadership. That's real self-respect. Heroes aren't just in stories. They don't wear capes. They wake up early. They show up tired. They do the hard things even when nobody sees it. They take the hit, learn the lesson, and keep going. That's you. That can be you. If you choose it. If you stop waiting to be rescued and start becoming what you've been waiting for. Because the most dangerous person in the room is the one who doesn't need saving. The one who saves themselves. Over and over again. So here it is. The raw truth you've been avoiding, maybe your whole life. No one is coming to save you. And that's not a reason to give up. It's the exact reason to get up. Because now you know what to do. Now you stop waiting. You stop hoping someone will fix what you were born to rebuild. You stop living small, asking for permission, apologizing for your ambition. You silence the excuses, you kill the distractions, and you lead yourself every single day. You build discipline when it's not fun. You trust yourself when no one else does. You rise from your pain, your failures, your silence, and you walk forward anyway. You were not made to be rescued. You were made to rise, not to follow, not to beg, but to lead yourself out of the life you've outgrown. So if you're still waiting for a sign, this is it. If you're still waiting for permission, give it to yourself. And if you're still wondering when to start, the answer is right now. Because no one is coming to save you. But that's okay. You've got you. And that's more than enough.